So Brian Kenny was on a podcast recently, and then the conversation switched, and they started talking about Max Kellerman. He talked about his relationship with Max Kellerman, his working relationship with Max Kellerman, his kids adore Max Kellerman, call him Unc, and the conversation shifted into the possibility of Max Kellerman coming back to network TV, and why Max Kellerman is taking hiatus. Now, Brian Kennedy explained it just in small details, but then Max Kellerman basically did, I think he was on this same podcast or on a different podcast on the phone, and he talked about ESPN, how his contract was set up with ESPN. ESPN basically is paying Max Kellerman to just sit at home and just not do nothing. And I think the end of his contract with ESPN is going to be ending pretty soon. And there is talking conversation that Max Kellerman is going to make his grand entrance back into network television, and the possibility of the networks that want to do business with Max Kellerman. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and I talked about this, and you can check the archives on my video, when Skip Bayless was floundering and he needed, someone to, co-host him with Undisputed. My many recommendations was not only Jalen Rose. I thought that would be good, even though people, understand Jalen Rose, the history of Jalen Rose and Skip Bayless. But I do think they're both mature enough to work alongside one another. And then the second person I mentioned was Max Kellerman. And Max Kellerman would be a shoehorn, fitting in with Undisputed. Where, Max Kellerman, the younger, likable person. Stephen A. Smith, the older. Not a lot of people like Skip Bayless. Okay? And I thought that tandem would be great for Undisputed. There is reports surfacing that when Max Kellerman is done with his obligations with his contract with ESPN later on this year, that he's going to come back to network television. And one of the possibilities is Fox Sports 1 hiring Max Kellerman. Now, the dream, if you want to call it a dream that's created by Wall, may be reality that Max Kellerman would land at Fox Sports 1. Fox Sports 1, they're going to be desperately seeking Susan to get a main draw for the Fox Sports 1 network. Now, I still believe this, that I initially said to you guys a couple of videos ago, last week, that I feel like Fox Sports 1 is regurgitating back to its old ways of having rodeos at 7 in the morning. I think they're going to keep the shows that are somewhat successful in the rotation at Fox Sports 1, but they're no longer trying to compete with ESPN, because ESPN is a juggernaut. It's in more households. ESPN, the name itself, is a bigger brand name than Fox Sports 1. It just rolls off the tongue easier. ESPN FS1. Okay, say it again, folks. ESPN FS1. Okay, and ESPN has done so much good that there's no stopping this juggernaut. And Fox Sports 1 sees it. Even when they had Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless, they still couldn't crack the code, the Da Vinci Code of ESPN. ESPN was still dominating them when they had Shannon Sharp. Now, Shannon Sharp is an ally to ESPN. So, Fox Sports 1 may back the Brent truck at Max Kellerman's home, because they're going to need a big draw. And then you're also hearing rumors and rumblings, this is just rumors, that Colin Cowherd may be exiting stage left from Fox Sports 1, either returning back to ESPN or, pushing all his eggs into the basket of the volume that he created his digital network or digital magazine, whatever. You know, he already got Club Shay Shay under the Volumes umbrella, as well as many other shows. And, you know, Colin Cowherd may be doing a combination of both of those things, ESPN and, you know, still running the Volume. I don't know. But if that is true, Fox Sports 1 is going to need a big draw. And the Carson Show is not your big draw. Despite all the good things Speak for Yourself is doing, they're not your big draw. I know everyone loves Nick Wright, aka Nick Wrong, and you know, people think that he should be the new host of Undisputed. They're not gonna mess up that tandem at First Things First. I think Nick Wright and Chris Broussard is perfect over there at First Things First. There's no need to switch anything up over there. And despite the success that Speak is getting, it's not your big draw. And you're already talking about Colin Cowherd may possibly leave Fox Sports 1. So Fox Sports 1 is in scramble mode. They're going to need a big draw. Skip Bayless is no longer going to be there. Why not Max Kellerman? I think Max Kellerman, you know, being the new host of Undisputed. Now, as of right now, at the end of the summer, Skip Bayless is going to leave and say farewell to Undisputed. Undisputed is going to go on with Keyshawn Johnson and whoever they can get, and Paul Pierce. I don't think Keyshawn Johnson is enough to keep the lights on. If you think Undisputed ratings were tanking when Shannon Sharp left, they're going to really tank because, you know, I like Keyshawn, but some of his takes are just, they're terrible. There's terrible takes. You know, I really watch Undisputed for Paul Pierce, the Paul Pierce segment, you know, and his antics, but that's just not enough. And they're going to need a big draw. I think Max Kellerman will be perfect for Undisputed. I guess I'm getting all my bases covered. If they hire Max Kellerman to go to Fox Sports 1, I'm going to be telling you guys on the next video, see, I told you so. But then if they don't hire Max Kellerman, I'm going to go to the excuse of, well, it's going to regurgitate back to watching rodeos Monday at 9 in the morning. Okay? So either way, I'm going to win. Okay? So I think this will be perfect. But Fox Sports 1 is going to be bidding with other networks. NBC Sports is trying to be somewhat competitive. They would be very interested in a Max Kellerman. CBS Sports, you know, despite them, you know, on the backside of things, they would send a smorgasbord of money to Max Kellerman. You got Amazon that would throw out the bag for Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman is likable. He's educational. He's entertaining. He's funny. You know, and he's very, very smart. And Stephen A. Smith saw that the hard way and the wrong way. Pause. Stephen A. Smith thought that Max Kellerman was going to be a pushover. That's why he was pushing for Max Kellerman. He thought Max Kellerman was going to let Stephen A. Smith steal all the spotlight and Max Kellerman was just going to sit there. No, Max Kellerman is a pit bull. Once he grabs into you, he's not letting go. And Stephen A. Smith did something smart, did something that Skip Bayless did later. Stephen A. Smith saw the train coming with Max Kellerman. And Stephen A. Smith said, hey, look, I got to stop this train before this train run over me. And he went to the offices of ESPN and said, hey, look, it's either y'all bet on me or bet on Max Kellerman. You're not going to do both, okay? Whereas Skip Bayless, I don't know if he cared or he just didn't know. The Shannon Sharp train was coming down and it ran over Skip Bayless. And it cost Skip Bayless his career at Fox Sports 1. Okay? It got to the point where Shannon Sharp was the huge favorite of Undisputed. That was the only reason why people watch Undisputed was Shannon Sharp and his antics. And Shannon Sharp saw this, and Skip Bayless saw it a little bit too late. Okay? Or he was placating to it or whatever. And you know, that's why Max Kellerman is no longer at ESPN, because of Stephen A. Smith. If Stephen A. Smith would have just let it go and just let it ride out, Stephen A. Smith would be in the same boat as Skip Bayless, you know, on the outside looking in. So, yeah, I feel like Max Kellerman would be a great choice for Undisputed. But they need a running mate for him. I heard the Dreamers Pro and was talking about, well, the tandem of Marcellus Wiley and Max Kellerman. We've been there and done that. I don't think that's enough to be very competitive to First Take. I think they need someone much younger, who's energetic, that that can bring the fight to Max Kellerman. I'm not saying Marcellus Wiley can't, but Marcellus Wiley really, placate to the things he wanted to bring to the fold. And Marcellus Wiley even admit to this. He's not he doesn't want to debate. He's just not a good debater. And he just want to be part of the show. He wants to be a team player. Nothing wrong with that. But they're going to need someone else, okay? I don't know who they got in their rotation at Fox Sports 1 that's under contract. That I just don't see anyone at that network that can, help Max Kellerman build Undisputed back to being somewhat respectable. Let's just go to getting Undisputed somewhat respectable by getting their viewership back, by getting their ratings back, before we start saying that they're very competitive towards ESPN and First Take, or they could be the quote-unquote First Take killers. I think we need to ban that word. No one should be allowed to use that word, the First Take killers. There's not a show on the planet that's a First Take killer, okay? Not then, definitely not now. Okay, but yeah, they're gonna have to find someone. Maybe it's someone from another network that's coming to the end of their contract. I understand that Fox Sports 1, there's maybe some powers that be that think that Fox Sports 1 should take the route of having a female debate with Max Kellerman. If y'all want to do that, fine. But just find someone that's going to bring in the ratings, bring in the viewership. Let's start there. And if he goes to Undisputed, let's just get Undisputed somewhat respectable by first hiring Max Kellerman. All right. I'm gonna tell you something that's this is a very unique tandem. And if it happens, I am going to timestamp this portion of the video, and it's going to be the first thing I'm going to play before we start talking about it. If it happens, I don't see it happening, but if it happens, it would be great if Max Kellerman's debating partner was Charles Barkley. Could you imagine Charles Barkley and Max Kellerman doing Undisputed? Could you imagine that? That would be a heavy 1-2 tandem, and not only it will make Undisputed respectable real fast, real quick, not only the ratings will go through the roof, but then we can start talking about, okay, we may have something here with Undisputed competing very well with First Take. Okay, so I don't know, just a thought that just came in my head just a few seconds ago. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, I will tell you guys I thought of it, even if it doesn't happen. All right. But yeah, that's all I got for today, guys. So what you think? Rate, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Deuce.